je ne parle pas trop bien.
On arrête de parler en anglais. We stop speaking in English now. On parle en français. C'était votre deuxième langue, c'est ça? LV2? Allez, des encouragements.
Merci.
Where did you learn French? At school?
So in Germany, because your first elective is English and the second elective, I picked French.
Okay.
And so I studied French for about 2 years.
Only?
And yeah, but I guess I forgot it all. I think it comes back once I would spend more time here.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah.
So you should stay longer in Paris, not leave.
Yeah, I wish I could. Yeah.
But you have professional engagement, I guess.
Yeah.
So you came directly from Berlin. Il est venu directement de Berlin aujourd'hui, and tomorrow you have to go back for professional.
Yes, that's right. Right now, I'm not shooting anything, but I'm in preparation for a production that I try to do out of Germany. It's probably going to take like a year or two until
Can you tell us a little bit more about that project? No spoilers, nothing?
I mean, I can tell you that I'm working on a project that shows the history of the Koreans that immigrated to Germany in the 70s.
Interesting.
So it's a period piece about the Korean diaspora in the 70s. And that's
we look very forward to see that project out. Okay.
But I spoke more German.
Like me.
Yeah.
So,
you spoke more French.
Voilà, il mélangeait donc l'allemand et le coréen chez lui avec ses parents. Moi je mélangeais le français et le coréen.
Right. And I feel like in the audience today we see a lot of ethnically mixed people. You come from all kinds of places, right?
Absolutely.
So to me, when I was a child, I think I was a child until I was about 9 years old, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when I turned 10 years old, I wasn't a child anymore, I was Asian.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So there's this age where you become self-aware and where you feel like, oh, I didn't know that I was different because I felt like I was just blended in with my friends and we had fun, and all of a sudden at some point you become aware of it.
Oh, your self-identity.
Exactly.
The fact of being Asian.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's a word called 손맛, which is basically the taste of your hand, but it's something that describes how a mother makes their own kimchi recipe.
Absolutely.
And every mother's 손맛 is a little bit different. So we would make...
In French we would say fait maison.
Fait maison.
Fait maison en coréen on dit 손맛, donc fait à la main.
Great, yeah.
Yes.
And so what we do is we would make kimchi enough for maybe 50 people.
Dans la baignoire.
Yeah.
Donc il préparait le kimchi directement à l'époque. Donc sa mère, your mother, I guess, or the family.
Yeah, it was my mom, myself, and my dad and my sister. And then we would trade the different kimchis with different families.
Aha, okay.
You know, because you would see them once a week during Korean school or during church.
Okay.
So it was once a week that you get together with the Korean community and make Korean food together, and so that was my environment that I grew up in.
So a tradition of sharing, of giving and sharing
Exactly.
with the others and with other the Korean diaspora that was based in Cologne, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Ah, ok. De la communauté coréenne à Cologne, donc en Allemagne, là où il a grandi. Very interesting. Could you explain a little bit, you said at the age of 9, 10, that's when you realized that you were Asian. How did that feel? In which aspect did it resonate in you? The relationship with your friends, with your classmates, the environment you were growing up?
I do believe I felt like a minority, but I think my background was a little bit different because I was very active. So
like now?
Yeah, but I mean through sports. I was an athlete, so there was no way in myself, because many of us, when we are a cultural minority, we sometimes do feel like we also have a minority complex. But I never had that because I excelled in sports.
In sports.
Yeah, so
in basketball, right?
Basketball, yeah, mostly.
Played a good role in your integration.
Yeah, I felt like that shaped myself in feeling like if you want to blend in and you work hard for it, you can't just blend in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Donc grâce à travers le sport, hein, il a réussi vraiment à s'intégrer, à se faire des amis et surtout à exceller dans le domaine du basket. Et il voulait devenir joueur de basket professionnel. Tell us a little bit more about that. Was your professional, original, the career you wanted to do?
Yes.
And what happened?
Yeah, so I feel like as a kyopo, maybe if you want to explain what the word kyopo means, being born and raised.
Yeah, so kyopo usually are the diaspora, so the Koreans who have eventually emigrated to other countries and who are currently living in other countries.
Yeah, so as a kyopo, usually you also have that feeling of cultural displacement because you don't feel really Korean, even though you want to be more Korean. And I was blessed when I was a teenager, when I was from the age 15 until 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Every summer during the holidays, I would go back to Korea into a training camp with Koreans.
Ooh.
So I had like a boot camp education of what it means to be a Korean.
So, tous les étés, hein, entre l'âge de 15 à 20 ans, il rentrait et il passait donc son été à Séoul dans des camps d'entraînement, des summer camps, hein, ce qu'on appelle.
In college.
In college, donc à partir de l'université.
I was always younger and I had my humps.
Ah, okay. And that it was your decision. C'était ta propre décision d'aller en Corée tous les étés et faire du basket. Voilà, avec les Coréens.
Ouais.
Et oui. Ah, il comprend, hein? Il comprend. Et alors, tu as appris le coréen à ce moment-là? Did you learn Korean at that time?
So what happened after that was I wanted to go to PE college in Germany.
PE college, which means physical education. Je voulais étudier l'éducation physique et sportive, donc en Allemagne.
Right. But before I would do my studies, I felt like I wanted to do a gap year abroad. Mm-hmm. And because
une année de césure, donc il voulait faire une petite année de césure. Like many Germans do that, right? They take a year gap year and they travel all around the world.
They travel and they work. And I felt like I want to go to the capital of the world, which is New York. And because I love movies so much, I did some research on the actors and the films that I liked. And there was one name that kept popping up, which was Lee Strasberg.
Okay.
And Lee Strasberg,
Academy.
Yeah, Lee Strasberg is the teacher of actors like Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. And so I applied for the school, and I figured when I go to the school for only 3 months, for the rest of the year you get a student visa for 1 year, and I would just work and have fun for the rest of the 9 months. So that was the plan. If you want to translate.
Okay, yeah, sure. Donc il s'est inscrit, il s'intéressait en plus du sport, il s'intéressait beaucoup au cinéma. Donc il a fait des recherches sur les instituts, les grandes académies où il pouvait étudier donc l'acting. Donc il s'est inscrit à l'académie de Lee Strasberg, hein, donc une académie très connue à New York. Donc pour l'acting, il a été accepté. Donc 3 mois intensifs, hein, voilà. Et après.
And then. It was my second week in school that the director of the school saw, like, because you have to fill out the week with 35 hours, and you can elect like either dancing or musical theater or directing, but all I did was acting. So I filled up my entire schedule with acting.
Only acting?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the director saw that. And she gave me an exercise in the class when I saw my other classmates doing their exercises that you would only do when you have been already in school for 1 year. So she advanced me. And there I had a reaction, a very emotional reaction. I didn't know what happened, but I was breaking down and crying. And because I come from sports, usually what you do is you do what your coach tells you to do, and you don't judge it, and you don't question it. So I come from that mentality. So since I was breaking down and I thought I was going crazy, but our director, the acting teacher, was telling me, yes, that's right, and now sing a song, and now scream, and make a long loud sound. So I was like,
She pushed you very
She pushed
hard.
me going more emotional into it. And when I was done with the exercise, she took me and she asked me, what are you doing? Have you done acting before? And I said no. And she asked me what I want to do, and I told her my plan. I'm just going to be here for 3 months, and I go and work and have fun and leave. So she told me, I think you have a talent, and you should come to my master class between German and Korean. If you translate that.
Donc mon père travaillait dans les mines, donc il y avait un contrat gouvernemental qui avait été fait entre la Corée et l'Allemagne, et ma mère était infirmière.
So it was a working class environment. My parents are very working class.
Donc de la classe très populaire, hein. J'ai grandi dans un environnement plutôt modeste.
And because of that, I never had access to arts.
Et à cause de ça, j'ai jamais eu accès donc à ce qu'on appelle la culture savante, hein, tout ce qui est art.
And when I was on stage doing that exercise, I realized the reason why I loved sports so much wasn't because of the sport aspect. It was of the spotlight aspect being on stage.
Et c'est à ce moment-là qu'il a réalisé que la raison vraiment profonde pour laquelle il aimait le sport, c'était pas vraiment le sport en lui-même, mais le fait justement d'avoir le spotlight, hein, d'être le meilleur joueur. Donc voilà, ce qui explique peut-être après sa reconversion en tant qu'acteur.
So I took a long, hard look at my life, and I imagined myself being 70 or 80 years old, being highly unsuccessful, so I would have to work part-time in the day.
All your life.
All my life. And then if I could be an actor on a stage that doesn't make any money, which is in the streets, maybe in the park, being maybe a Pierrot.
Un Pierrot, peu importe en fait où il allait performer, où il allait être sur scène, that would have been
I felt like
happiness.
I could be happy. Yeah, when I imagined that. So I told my parents, it's the hardest thing for an actor, I guess for any artist, to tell your parents, I'm going to go another way and not the safe way. But I would go for me the way that makes me happy. So after I decided to do that, I lost touch with my parents for almost 8 years.
Wow. Oula. Donc, dans la culture coréenne, c'est souvent très difficile d'expliquer à ses propres parents qui veut changer tout d'un coup. Hein, c'est vraiment un tournant de 360 degrés pour devenir. Il voulait devenir donc professionnel, basketballeur professionnel, et puis tout d'un coup dire bah non, en fait ma passion c'est je veux devenir comédien. Et donc du coup il y a eu une rupture. Enfin, il a coupé les parents. Your parents actually cut the links.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay. Donc il était vraiment, c'était vraiment clair dans sa tête qu'il voulait devenir acteur, et donc il a coupé les ponts avec ses parents pendant 8 longues années.
And I felt like it takes the discipline to really give your life to something that you love doing. No matter who says something, your parents can judge you, your friends can judge you, but it's up to you that you have to fulfill that dream. And if you believe in it, you know.
Poursuivez vos rêves, hein. Poursuivez vos rêves, ne lâchez pas, peu importe ce qu'on vous dise à côté, les parents, les amis, continuez, faites votre chemin.
I believe the reason why I am the way I'm thinking is because in the 80s there was a Japanese animation on German television.
La raison pour laquelle je suis ce que je suis maintenant, c'est parce qu'il y avait un dessin animé japonais à l'époque, donc qui était diffusé en Allemagne.
Et l'animation, c'est Rémi sans famille de Victor Tsoi.
On connaît tout ça, yeah. I think everyone understood.
So when I saw Master Vitalis et Rémi et Jolicourt, the monkey, you know, I always felt when I was a child, I could do that because it looked like a noble profession, because of Master Vitalis teaching it to Rémi.
And from then,
So I thought after my studies in New York, I would come back to France and I would study at Marcel Marceau's clown school. That's what I wanted to do. That was my dream.
donc en fait, après les États-Unis, you stayed 8 years in New York.
I spent 8 years in New York.
That's why his English is so perfect, huh? And you have to fake that you didn't speak English in the other movie. Probably that was hard acting. Et son rêve, c'était de venir en France en fait, hein, et continuer ses études.
But then I met a woman, my wife.
Your wife is actually exceptional, yes.
Yeah. She's an artist and very successful.
Photographer, videoist, yes.
And she told me, if you want to be an actor, it's noble to not making money from it. That's very romantic. But if you want to make a living of what you do, then you should go to Korea and try to do it there. So we moved together to Korea.
Et les femmes, elles sont là derrière, hein? Donc sa femme l'a convaincu que s'il voulait devenir un grand acteur, il fallait qu'il aille en Corée. Donc elle l'a poussé, voilà, à aller en Corée. Oh, Nikki, we're thinking about you. She's in Korea, I guess.
Yes. Always listen to your wife. Yeah, that's how I started. And then it took me another 10 years to learn the language, which sounds like a long time. But if your pursuit of your dream is kind of, if you have the vision of yourself when you are 70, 80 years old, then those 10 years mean nothing. It's just, okay, 10 years I learned the language, and then I try to break into the industry.
Donc en 10 ans, finalement, il a appris le coréen et il est devenu... Donc vous commencez à apprendre le coréen maintenant, dans 10 ans, hein, on voit le résultat. On se retrouve ici à la Korea Expo. Okay, now I think we cannot not talk about past lives, okay? Qui a été diffusé dans les salles en 2023, hein, et qui s'appelle Nos vies d'avant, qui lui a permis donc d'atteindre vraiment une reconnaissance mondiale, worldwide recognition thanks to this movie. It received a lot of attention from the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, the Berlin International Film Festival. You were nominated as the first Korean actor at the British Academy Award for Best Actor. The first ever. Donc le premier acteur coréen à avoir été nominé pour meilleur acteur au British Academy Award. Cela vraiment vaut des applaudissements. Hein. Bravo pour ça. Tell us a little bit more about what this movie really represents to you. Well, how it has changed your life as an actor.
Okay.
Qu'est-ce que ce film représente pour vous et comment il a changé votre vie en tant qu'acteur?
So in the movie there is a segment where we talk about the philosophy of Inyon, which translates roughly into fate.
Donc dans ce film, le mot clé est le mot Inyon, hein, le concept de Inyon, qui est quelque chose d'assez difficile à traduire, qui pourrait se traduire simplement par destinée, destin, connection, relation.
Because it comes from a Buddhist belief system of reincarnation. So when you had several different times in your life, in the film it translates into 8,000 times before layers of Inyon. Then each layer, each time when you had a life together, like this for example, this is one layer of Inyon that I'm meeting you right now.
This is an Inyon! Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's very unique. It's part of our destiny, our lives, our path cross, right?
So, in order to act the way I acted the Hashong character out of the film, I felt like I really had to believe in Inyon, which means, because in Korea we use it every day, just like very casually. It's like, oh, today we're meeting, we have Inyon, we have a talk. But to really believe it is a whole other thing. Mm-hmm. To really think that your life is meant to be something. Mm-hmm.
Donc ce concept de Inyon, c'est très, il faut le rapprocher à la réincarnation, au bouddhisme, et vraiment d'y croire, vraiment c'est quelque chose d'assez difficile. Et donc pour le film d'abord, il a dû se plonger dans cette bulle d'Inyon et vraiment d'y croire.
So Inyon actually means that my soul is reincarnated in you, and your soul is reincarnated in me, and that's why if you want to.
Yeah, donc tout le concept de la réincarnation, on peut être réincarné en quelque chose qui est complètement autre chose de notre vie actuelle. Hein. Donc we can become an animal, we can become a totally different things from what the life.
Because of the removal of time and space. So that's why in Inyon and in Buddhism we say I am you and you are me and we are the same at the same time and we are nothing at all. That's like the main thing that is saying.
Donc I am you, you are me, hein? Vous avez compris. Et
we are the same at the same time.
Et nous sommes identiques.
And we are nothing at all.
À ce moment très précis, nous sommes finalement rien. Voilà.
So with Inyon, what I learned is the concept of love and empathy for everyone. Because if I want to be a good actor, I believe I really have to be able to understand each and every one of the lives that I meet and have a good understanding. So it really changed me profoundly.
Right. And so you worked with director Celine Song. It was the first time you worked with Greta Lee, right? How was the shooting itself? Comment s'est passé le tournage? It was mostly in the United States?
Yes. So we shot the film for about 4 weeks in New York and about 2 weeks in South Korea because there's a small segment in Korea.
Quite short, hein?
Yeah,
4 semaines et 2 semaines de tournage à Séoul et à New York.
Yeah. But more so about the technicality of things, actually on set we would talk about Inyon every day.
Donc ils étaient vraiment, le concept de Inyon était présent pendant toute la durée du tournage, ils parlaient de ça même pendant les pauses, c'était vraiment quelque chose de présent, ils étaient imbibés dans cette Inyon.
Not only the actor and the director,
with everyone.
Everyone, from the drivers to the lighting person, for everybody who was around us on set.
Incredible.
So, and I feel like that makes the film so special because we talk about how Celine and Greta and John and I, we were all at the right age in our own development as people to understand the concept in the right time, and our path crossed, and then we.
That's really Inyon, that's destiny.
And then we don't meet each other again because how life goes. So it was a very special moment and not a romanticized moment, but for me a very deeply philosophical moment in time.
Fantastic. So it made you really delve into this kind of concept Buddhism and see yourself actually the current life you're living. Now, what has it changed? What has this movie changed in your current life? Because now obviously you're a rising star, or actually already a star. So we'd like to know what was the path that you had to go through. Il y a certainement eu de nombreux obstacles, une reconversion professionnelle. Racontez-nous un peu ce parcours, how you made it.
It's hard now because after that philosophy of Inyon, I look not only at the people that I meet with Inyon, I look also at the characters that I act as Inyon. And therefore, the path has become more spiritual, like my career path. I think about the characters that I act as souls that I already lived. So my acting path removes me from the profession, and to me it's more of a spiritual journey.
Très philosophique. Donc grâce à ce film-là, finalement ma vision des choses a complètement été chamboulée et du coup je vois chaque nouveau personnage de façon beaucoup plus spirituelle et j'ai une approche complètement différente en fait de mon rôle d'acteur. It's very deep. And you mentioned about instinctive acting based on philosophy. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It changed.
Just if you talk about the word the word profession, right? In Germany, it translates into Berufung. In French, I think it's called vocation, right?
Vocation, oui.
To call, vocally call, vocation. So it is about something higher, calling, saying, you are that. So to me, because it's so spiritual, I feel like every one of us should believe their instinct about a vocation, about their vocation of what they want to do, because then you can be really happy with yourself and not what other people think you should do, and especially what other people give you likes, what you post or what you share, because this is removed from who I am.
Well, we're delving into very deep things. I think we can give a big round of applause to what he just said. It's quite profound. Yes, there is a high calling, donc une certaine vocation. Hein. On voit les choses forcément différemment, j'imagine, après ce type d'expérience. Et il faut vraiment s'écouter, écouter cette petite voix intérieure et puis les voix aussi qui sont autour de nous, qui nous disent voilà, c'est ta vocation, c'est ce que tu dois faire et vraiment y croire. Et pas forcément voilà, écouter ce qu'on vous dit à droite, à gauche, etc. Hein. Donc trouver cet équilibre-là et cette confiance en vous. Thank you so much for that. Wow. Mais Teo Yoo il a présenté donc sa propre chanson au public dans une émission musicale coréenne. And the song is entitled Melted Milk. Is that right? Tell us a little bit more about that, and can you sing a little bit? Is that possible? So tell us a little bit about that song. Are you changing from an acting career to a singing career? You want to do both? Is that a vocation? Tell us. I think he's getting like he doesn't know what to do for the next. He has to sing.
I have huge respect for singers, K-pop artists, rappers, like musicians in general. And
we have so many fans of K-pop singers here too today. Not only acting.
Yeah. And I thought for me, in order to be happy with myself, I had to cut everything off and just focus on acting. But this year, starting with the talk show, it's the seasons with Zico.
Yes.
It's a music talk show. Yeah. And the music talk show, I met through that talk show. I started rehearsing the song with a guitarist,
yes.
a blues musician, and I think we're gonna do something together in the future.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about it. So I feel like it's also kind of inyeon.
Yes.
And I'm shooting a variety show this summer as well. And it's also a little bit about music.
Okay.
So for some reason, things that happen in Korea are related. There's inyeon with music. So I feel like, okay, in the beginning, I couldn't force it, but now it naturally comes to me.
To you.
So I feel like, okay, I just surrender myself to music and just try it. Why not? Yeah.
Wow, great. So we will see him on stage next time for singing?
Next time, yeah.
Next time?
When I have musicians here.
When you have musicians, okay. What is the genre of music you usually enjoy?
The genre?
Yeah.
Hip-hop is my first love.
Hip-hop?
Yeah.
Any French songs that you like?
Any French songs?
You probably listen to it, but you probably maybe don't know the names of the singers or...
I listened to more German rap when I grew up, so not a lot of French hip-hop, even though Latin was like really influenced me a lot as an actor and as someone who loves music. But I like all the genres. I love blues, obviously, is a genre that I love. I love Balkan music, Eastern European, like klezmer music.
Wow.
I love electronic. I love EDM. I just bought the.
You really touch all kinds of genre little bits.
Yeah, it's always like what inyeon I have at that time and who interests me. Like right now, I'm listening more to Zico because I met him.
Of course.
So I listen and why he is
So popular and so...
Yeah, why he does what he does and why he's so good at it. Like I'm trying to figure out what it is that makes his mind tick for the music that he writes. Yeah, so I'm inspired. I'm always inspired. I'm always learning, no matter what the genre is.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm shooting a film out of LA this year in the fall. I cannot tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be fun.
Okay, we'll be waiting for that. I recently saw that you were named the 100 most influential Asian people of 2024. Yes!
It's crazy.
Donc, Théo a été élu parmi les 100 personnes asiatiques les plus influentes en 2024. Bravo! Do you consider yourself as an influential person? And
no, I consider myself as a fool.
As a fool?
Yeah. I'm just the fool. I'm just the jester or the Pierrot.
The Pierrot?
Yeah.
You also mentioned in an interview that you consider yourself as a nerd.
Yes.
As a geek?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about why that kind of debate, there was some debate about that in Korea, so I'd like to know why you
well, in order to say why the debate started happening is you have to define what a nerd is.
Yes, of course.
And I define a nerd as someone, if you like something and you're very curious about it, you go in deep and really research everything, the history, the technique, the emotion of one thing that interests you. And that's why I feel like I'm really nerdy, because I just don't go out, I don't meet friends, and like I'm busy and I just stay at home and watch YouTube all the time.
So you dig really deep into the genre or the discipline. Suddenly you find a certain love or interest in. Wow, so that's a definition of being nerdy for you. Okay, I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
I don't think I could say that I have one particular favorite film, because as an actor, when you take on one role, there's just a slice of you in that character, but a little bit super exposed. So I feel like I have a little bit of me in everything that I do. So I just, it's always the next film that's my favorite, because right now my interest is in that next project.
Focus on that.
Yeah,
so it's probably a touch of symbolism. You put a little bit touches of paint a little bit everywhere in the characters you act, and then you're excited to always find a new project.
Exactly.
And you really dive into the character.
But it's not what I choose to do. I feel like it's what chooses me to do next. So it's a vocation.
Donc toujours dans cette philosophie de la vocation. Is there any director you really want to work with in the future? I mean, everybody loves Christopher Nolan. Right? So I would love to work with Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino. But there are also a few new-coming unknown directors from Germany that I've been talking to that do some really interesting work. So it's nothing specific. I don't look at the director. I think I look at the inyon of what the director wants to say, so I'm looking at the script. Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on what comes along the way.
The script, I guess, is very important, because that is the first relation you have with the movie.
Totally.
How was your feeling when you first read the script of Past Lives? How did you feel?
I remember it really clearly, because I loved that Celine has written the concept of inyon in such an easy and dry, understandable way into this romance story of these three people.
Donc la réalisatrice, donc Céline Song, est aussi she's Korean American, elle est coréenne américaine, et il a vraiment adoré la façon dont elle a décrit ce concept de inyon de façon très simple, très claire.
And then in the end of that last scene, when we stand together in front of the shutter, I tried to imagine it in my head how it will look, and I started crying when I was reading the script, and that's not really easy to do for a script, to read something and cry. And I wish that when we make the film, that the audience can relate to that last scene when we are, leaving. So yeah, it was deeply, deeply emotionally touched.
Very, very intense scene. Will not spoil anything. Please go see the movie. Nos vies d'avant, un film absolument extraordinaire, très émouvant. I saw it twice. Actually, I saw it on my way to Paris because I really wanted to make this interview very interesting for all of you, for you, to be a very special moment. Alors, les Français sont très curieux, and you are very curious too. What about French culture? Do you have any favorite food?
Yeah, I'm very simple. Like this morning, I had a tartine with café au lait.
Yes.
It's very simple. I like the simple stuff in life.
Simple pleasures of life.
Yeah.
Les petits plaisirs de la vie.
I still have to eat my escargot, of course.
Escargot?
Yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
And then after that, I have a cup of shinramen.
He's so bicultural, huh?
Yeah.
And some wine, some French wine that you like?
I love Sancerre. Yeah. Fleury, like the different types.
So did you book a nice restaurant for you to enjoy your last day before going back to Germany?
No, not yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just leave it up to Yin Young.
Oh, wow. You surrender to Yin Young. Alors, il y a beaucoup donc de fans de cinéma coréen et de drama coréen. Yes. Y a-t-il un ou plusieurs films que vous leur recommanderiez? So we have so many fans of Korean dramas, Korean cinema. Is there any movie that you would like to recommend to them? Korean movies, eventually.
Well, I would say one that kind of was, to me, very educational and also moved me was Sky Castle.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sky Castle?
Sky Castle was really good. Then what I she's like, no.
She's like, oh, it's terrible. It's so much pressure on education in Korea,
so I also loved Reborn Rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Lee Jung-gi?
Yeah,
Song Joong-gi, sorry. Yeah.
Song Joong-gi.
I interviewed him also a while ago. It was really nice.
I'm gonna give you one of my favorite movie recommendations. It's a film from the 90s, actually, a Korean film. And it's called Christmas in August.
Yes! Christmas in August?
Yes.
You saw it?
8월의 크리스마스. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because a lot of Korean films are very aggressive, and ever since Old Boy, like it was very bloody, and Old Boy came out in 2005, if I remember right. So there was a period in Korean cinema where films of Korea were very romantic and very tender, and very kind and very warm. And I love those Korean films, and those Korean films came out between 1995 and 2002.
Absolutely.
So that period, I personally call it 순수의 시대.
순수의 시대. Okay.
So for Korean films, and 8월의 Christmas in August is one of those films.
Okay, and thank you for the recommendation. You played a lot of villain roles at the beginning of your career.
I did, yeah.
Yes. Was there a strategic reason to do that and to suddenly move into a very romantic and very deep focused film?
Yes, of course.
Wow. Okay.
Because, people in Korea perceive me as a leading man type, you know? It's not my idea, it's the casting world's idea,
Yes.
you know? But I came to Korea with a dream, and I made it onto the spotlight with a Russian film at Cannes Film Festival. So nobody knew me, but I look kind of like a leading man, but we cannot cast you as a leading man because nobody knows you. So what do? Do you become the second? No, because you cannot look better than the lead, you know?
Wow.
But you can be the bad guy.
I see, okay. So that was like a kind of an alternative So you could be the villain.
Yeah.
Talking about the movie, so that was at the Cannes Film Festival, Leto, right? You played the role of a Korean-Russian rock singer, right? How was that challenging? I heard that you learned Russian like 20 days before 3 weeks before the shooting. Donc on lui a dit 3 semaines avant le tournage qu'il devait apprendre le russe, qu'il devait chanter en russe. Yes, rock.
Yeah, so it's based on the life of a real-life Korean Russian. His name is Viktor Tsoi.
Yes.
Well, Viktor Tsoi, but
Tsoi.
But the Russians say Viktor Tsoi. Yeah. And his career spans 10 years from 1981 to 1992, 11 years. And he died when he was 28 years
Very
old,
young,
so he
yes.
died very young. He was the first Korean that did the K-wave.
That made it,
Yeah.
yes, wow.
The Russian people, they say his music was one of the reasons why the USSR came apart, because they sang his songs in protest in the street.
Wow.
So he's like a legend. He's almost like Kurt Cobain, Leonard Cohen, he's like John Lennon, he's like a mix of all of it.
Wow.
So I felt like a really big responsibility.
Definitely.
Yeah, culturally, because I got cast in it. I don't know why, but I just got the job and I had to do it. Yeah, and yeah, so it was very satisfying and rewarding to be acknowledged by Cannes, by the festival. It was such a relief, and I was so happy about the film.
Wow, amazing. Alors, vous êtes jeune. Yes.
Anyway, I have a question. Like, what's your best memory during Vagabond, like shooting? Because I'm a big fan of Vagabond, so yeah.
Thank you, thank you. You're a very beautiful person too. Thank you.
He's even more handsome from closer, girls.
My fondest memory of Vagabond, I think getting to know Seung-gi. Yeah, because Seung-gi, he's a musician, and then he also does acting for television productions and occasionally for films. So I always feel like he should deserve more credit, because I think he's an incredible actor. But because of a certain branding and a certain image, he doesn't do more, but I think he could do so much more. So when I got to know Seung-gi, I was deeply impressed by him as a person. So I really respect him and love him as a person. And like I said, I was, it's the good guy, the second lead, the girl, and then it's the bad guy. So I was number 4. And so I look up to him as a leader, So he's like a really great number 1. So that, and also the action, that was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's recording it.
Yes, I think so. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much for your time. I would like to know, what was your favorite thing about the K-drama Love to Hate You? Thank you so much.
Yes, we didn't mention, I'm sorry, we didn't mention about that drama, but
I miss you, bracelets.
Very good question.
Oh, Paris memories, like...
Thank you so much. Okay, Love to Hate You.
Woo!
What I really loved about the script, about the scenario, was that the role reversal of what a man is supposed to be and what a woman is supposed to be was turned upside down.
Yes.
So here we have a K-drama, which is a romantic comedy with a woman who just sleeps with every guy that she wants to sleep with. In the first episode, she loves being herself, she beats men up,
Yes.
And my character is like the sensitive, almost like, oh, come on, that kind of a little bit crazy, a little bit nerdy, but on the outside he pretends to be a superstar, but he's just a person with trauma. He also has hate. So what I loved about that character setup was very unique, because it was out of the ordinary in comparison to other Korean dramas. So when I look at scripts that I want to work on, I always look at stuff that's very different, that tells a different story, but in a fun way. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer. Il est temps, malheureusement, déjà, de mettre fin à notre interview. Un dernier mot, the last words to your fans today, and we're going to wrap up this interview.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming out here, not just for me, but really for the entire expo. And I mean, of course, realistically, I'm here to promote Korean culture, but I feel like culture in general is so universal. It's just about what you like, and if you like it, and that's it. So I have genuine, humble gratefulness that you enjoy and like Korean culture so much. I love all the different cultures that I see here in the same amount. And I'm not kidding. I really go out and I try everything and eat anything, And I hope, that we do see each other again in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 네, 감사합니다. Okay. So for your time. And enjoy the rest of the Korea Expo. Enjoy your time in Paris.
Thank you.
And we'll see you very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go to a selfie. This is why she just brought the. Vous êtes prêts pour un selfie, une vidéo tous ensemble? Okay. No one on the stage, but please, you can take a photo from here. Okay, you go first, take a video. Yes, good share, yes, and I'll go over from this side. Okay, let's go video, everyone. Wow! 사랑합니다. Thank you so much. Enjoy the